It's Friday and I'm ready to swing. Pick up my girls and hit the
Hey,
party. Sing tonight. Oh, feels alright. What's up?
what's going on?
What's the deal? What's the deal, everybody? Y'all know what this is. This is the Ish That We Talk. I am the host of this show. I really don't have another title. I just host. I spit and talk shit. I am the black smoking, joint toting, bad motherfucker that you see in front of you, Lily. I am also with the lady who has all the titles. Talking about she pushes the bells and whistles. She gets the topics together. She gets the graphics right. She's the queen of dragons. I don't know what else to fucking um everybody give a round of applause for Lindsay.
Hello, hello. How's it going?
Hell
How's your
yeah, hell yeah.
Friday?
My Friday is cool. Got off work, hurried up and came here so we can continue to give people the ish that we talk. Let's get these pleasantries out the way, cause after all these episodes, I still got to read it off of my phone, because that's just how my mind works, y'all. They didn't put me in a sped class, but I probably should have needed one. Check this out. You can catch us on Apple Podcasts, Amazon, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, Instagram. What is it? Facebook, Twitter, and you can catch us on Twitch. I always like to say
Yeah,
Twitch last because I like Twitch. Even though I'm not on Twitch, I need to get on Twitch.
need
But
to get on Twitch. Definitely need to get on Twitch.
I'm gonna get on Twitch. I'm gonna get on Twitch. I'm gonna mess with y'all because I really mess with y'all. When y'all come and do comments, y'all really be going hard. So I really like it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, so, um, yeah,
Yeah.
everything's good. Right.
All right. All right, man. How's your Friday? Shit, that's a good week. How's your Friday, Lindsay?
My Friday is good. Um, can't complain. My Friday kind of just started like an hour ago, so really can't complain on that.
All right.
Yeah,
It's so
yeah,
crazy where you stay. Your Friday could have started an hour ago, and then you could just go certain places and have a fucking, and it's like 10 minutes away from you.
mm-hmm, yeah, yeah. Cause it's like all kinds of like little bars and stuff out here. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, and I've been to one like 10 years ago, so and it's still there. So I might
It's
I
so
might need to
crazy.
revisit that. Right.
Probably. We went to me and Jasmine went to a birthing class in Blue Springs.
Yeah.
I'm driving to this birthing class, and I'm like, this area looks familiar. I'm not, me. I swear, I'm such the to myself person. I be thinking every place that I go to is like bigger than what it is. So I'm like, this area look familiar, but whatever. I don't really go to Blue Springs like that. I hit one corner and I'm like, oh shit, I can go right here and shoot right up the cuz house.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
that's crazy. I was like, man, again, like I said, I don't be going places. I be thinking every place is big. And I was telling Jasmine, because like cuz don't say shit. Like cuz just live out, you know what I'm saying, live where she live, and it's cool. But other people be making it seem like it is like, yeah, I stay out in Blue Springs, blah blah. Like it's so top tier. And I'm like, nigga, this shit is a box.
Right. Like when you've lived as many places as I have in the city, it's just like, yeah. And I make it seem like I'm very unstable, and that's not the case. Um,
You
that's
did
not
say it like
normal. It's just I be ready to go, so I go. Yeah, I
yeah, I
mean
do.
that's it. And that's all.
I'm like, man,
But
I was hitting them corners around there. I was like, oh man, this shit, man, come, this is what it is.
yeah, Blue Springs ain't that big. It ain't that big. It's a couple of streets, and that's it. Yeah, and
Yeah,
it really ain't that big of a deal. Yeah. And then it just sound far, and then people want to crack jokes, and it's just like, all right, especially my
I'm gonna
family.
I'm gonna totally keep a beam with you, Lindsay. The first time I ever went to Blue Springs, right?
Hmm.
I left the air. I went to I went to Vegas, and I left the airport, and then we had to drive to Blue Springs to drop me off. In my mind, the only way at that time, this was I want to say this is 2023. So yes, this is fucking 14 years ago. This is how long since I've been to Blue Springs. Now I went that route to Blue Springs, and I only thought that was the route to Blue Springs. Like
Mm.
when niggas used to tell me to go to Blue Springs, I'm like, damn, I gotta drive all the way to North Kansas City to get on this again.
Oh
Like I
wow.
was nigga, I hated going to, and niggas used to look at me like the whole time and not say shit. I really want to cuss niggas out, like, man, y'all really had me drive all the way down north when y'all knew I could have just jumped right on Lee Summit. Why did
Right. Right. Or I-70. Like, yeah. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you
I
niggas?
tell people because like it just sounds far, but it's really not. And if you drive to St. Louis, you go through Blue Springs every time. So it's not really that big of a deal.
I used to be like, what the fuck? I'm talking about. I used to fuck with a girl that stayed in Blue Springs, and I used to drive all the way to where I knew you took the turn in North Kansas City, and took that way out there because just listen to you people. Like I said, I'm a 40-year-old, so back then I didn't it wasn't like GPS was popping. We had map. I didn't and in my mind I didn't need a map quest because all I needed to know is what exits I need to get out. So I used to memorize exits.
Right. Right. Just imagine before MapQuest and Rand McNally, because that's what I used to use was Rand McNally. Just imagine before then. So
Shit is wild,
folks was getting lost.
yeah.
Yeah, especially in them subdivisions. Like we got some weird ass subdivisions in the city, and I just be going through them sometimes. Like, why on earth does this make sense to anybody?
That shit
We
is
got
weird.
number streets crossing number streets, and like that's so stupid. I was like, I would never find nobody house. Like
It's
you have to
you know
come
what?
outside.
I'm so glad that my sense of diversity, you know, being a child of the '80s, we didn't have none of this advanced shit. So a lot of kids in the '90s, they so up in like GPS and all that, have a natural center of where they're at.
Uh huh.
I'm so glad I know where a natural center of where I'm at because um, this is probably a year and a half ago. Um, I went down north to Chicken and Pickle with
Mhm.
Jasmine and a couple of our homies. Homie was driving, homie was using GPS, and homie kept on going. And I was like, "What the fuck are we doing?" And I was like,
Mhm.
"Man, stop." So when he stopped, or I looked around, see when we was, and I got us directly out of there. And he was like, "How'd you do that?" I'm like, "Because certain shit, I just know what it is. Especially if I know a street, I know exactly
Mhm.
how to get through this street."
Yeah.
He was so used to the GPS. I'm like, this GPS is putting you in a certain, GPS will fuck up, and that's what it was because we was in the
Hmm.
bottoms. We got close to the bottoms. They kept on saying, take a left, take a right, take a left, go straight, and we
Yeah.
just kept on ended up in the same place. I'm like, nah, fuck all this, man. I'm trying to go to Ponchos. I'm drunk, like.
Not you left a eating establishment trying to go to another one.
When we ate there, what happened is we ate, we drunk, we kicked it at Chicken and Pickle. Chicken and Pickle is a dope spot.
Yeah.
Um, and directly, directly on the side of Chicken and Pickle, if you really want to go, it's a bar and they do karaoke on Fridays. So we went over
Mm.
there, karaoke, um, and then after that, they stopped serving food at a certain time. So we got out of that spot like at 2 in the morning. We're fucked up. We smoking. We drinking. Where the fuck are we gonna go? Ponchos.
Mm.
Got it. You know what
Poncho.
I'm
Right.
saying? You gotta have your shit together.
Yeah. Are all of them 24 hours still?
Yep.
Cool. Cool. 'Cause I know the one out here is 24 hours. And I did something real horrible this past week. I went to Poncho's at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, this is the worst thing I could have ever done.
No, it ain't. That was the greatest thing you could have did because that's when it's the best.
Yeah, it was fire. It was fire. And it was a lot. I couldn't finish it. I had to finish the rest the next day. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Ain't nothing like a California burrito at 4 to 5 in the morning. That
Yeah.
shit tastes like brand new money.
Yeah. 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 They're like freaking gourmet meal. And then the one out here in Blue Springs, that one is really nice. You got to travel a minute to it, but it's really nice.
That's the
You
crazy
can
part
tell they
because
clean it.
that's the crazy part because every ponchos I done seen, like when I drive around and see new ponchos, these ponchos be nice. And I'm like, the ponchos I grew up
Hmm.
with is a fucking hole in the wall. I swear to
Yeah.
God, I think the niggas that run the ponchos where I'm at, that's a front for new niggas moving cocaine. Cause these niggas ain't changed shit. They ain't even changed the fucking speaker on the goddamn
At
window.
all. At all. You know, one that used to be out here, it used to be on 40 Highway, and that's the old school one. They tore that one down, and now they put a Chipotle right there. But it's another one that you got to travel a minute to. It's like, what's that lake that's off of 40 Highway? What was that lake Tapawingo?
Yeah, I
It's
was
like
about to say
close
it's
to
like
that.
Tropicana, some bullshit.
Yeah, yeah. So it's close to that, but it's in Blue Springs, and that one is clean. Like the paint is still white, clean. Like the colors are vibrant, clean. So yeah, because I'm starting to get real leery about fast food, and
Man,
that one I don't think I would probably go into.
not you know what? Ponchos ain't never let me down to the point where listen, everybody know. I mean, if you know me, you know where I stay, so you know the ponchos I go to. Now,
Hmm.
this ponchos be dumb super packed, right? You know what they ain't never let me down with? Not never, not one time of me ever fucking with ponchos, and that's like a 20-year stretch. I ain't never pulled up to that motherfucker and no motherfucker said we was out or something.
True, true, true.
Them, I don't,
Uh,
if I don't know if below that building they just got a plethora of shit, but they ain't never. I was sitting that line for 45 fucking minutes and they ain't never ran out of shit.
yeah, yeah. Now they'll run out of cash,
Right
but
now,
they ain't ran
now
out
when
of food. Yeah, they'll definitely run out of cash. All right, are you ready to get into these topics?
let's get into these topics, man. City love.
Right. Shout out to Ponchos. But yeah, so let's start with the silly shit first. First shout out to Chrisean Rock. She had her baby this past week and she went on IG live and live streamed the birth. Now, in the video, they don't show nothing but like from her shoulders up as far as
Hmm.
her is concerned. But but yeah, she had like over 300,000 people in her live. Everybody's so happy for her and congratulating her. She had it a couple of weeks early too, so yeah. She had a baby boy. She named her baby after her. Her name is Chrisean Malone. So her baby name is Chrisean Malone Jr. Now, if you're wondering if her child's father, Blueface, was in attendance, the answer was no. He was not in attendance. Actually, he was in Miami with his first baby mama, who apparently, I guess, they're back together. Um, yeah. And over the past week, we have been watching a meltdown of him. He's been tweeting and deleting a whole lot of shit. Um, hasn't met his son, but he's talking about taking the baby from her and this, that, and the third. And yeah, talking about that his his first baby mama name is Jaden, but everybody calls her Stewie. He's talking about how she's gonna be the one raising them if she don't get her act together and whatnot. And but like I said, excuse me, um, he's not there to know if her act is together or not. So yeah. So we thought that a lot of people said that the baby was gonna change for Sean. It kind of looks like she's on a more positive route. So hopefully this is a positive thing for her life.
I mean, time will
Um,
tell.
yeah,
I've seen piece of shit baby mamas be great for the first couple months.
right, right. You're absolutely correct. But yeah, so we will definitely see because they're not gonna do nothing but let us see. So yeah. So what are your thoughts on this?
My first thoughts is congratulations. Um,
Hmm.
I mean, I know what it is to have a son, and I know the type of feeling it is to have a son as a man. So I know Blueface has boys, but I think he just and that's it's gonna be something that once he really does settle down, he's gonna let people know that he does regret um, not seeing his son being born.
Hmm.
It's something about that I don't care if you got one kid or three kids. It's just something about watching your son born that makes you want to do amazing shit as a man because now you got a man to look after. Like, and so
Yeah.
I hope he figures that out. With Chrisean, man, I hope she really realizes that the same thing that you got a man to look after, and that man is going to see a lot of things that you and your and his father has done, and so for the time that he's around, y'all got to really actually do that co-parent thing where it actually works between the both of y'all because he's gonna see a bunch of shit that happened and that's gonna bring a wedge between you and his daddy. I don't give a fuck what nobody talking about. That'll break your heart. Well, not that I'ma just nah, fuck it. I was trying to be professional. Listen, keeping it a bean. It's gonna break this kid's heart to realize how crazy his mama and how fucked up his mama used to act. Like damn, like he gonna really question like damn, you knew you was pregnant when you went to the shoe store and you didn't tell your mama. you was just knocking off Hennessy and bust my daddy upside the head. Like this shit is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean,
And
you know, I digress. When I'm just I do I'm glad that the baby is healthy. I'm glad that the baby is okay, and I really just want to make sure that I don't never say anything disrespectful like I'm laughing at this kid's birth because I'm not. I'm elated over this kid's birth. You know, you come into a fucked up world, young man. Um, but you can be great.
yeah, yeah, it can be the best part of both of them. You know, um, and I just hope they get it together. If for nothing else, for the sake of their child. I don't really have too much hope for Blueface because shoot, he already got two kids and he ain't got his shit together. Um, I mean, he got his shit together
Make him
financially.
grow up.
About it. Yeah. Right. Right. So I just hope I just hope for better things for both of them. Cause that's a that's a freaking mess.
Man,
That
crazy.
they not they not trying to make better currently. Cause they are really going back and forth online. And it's like we don't need to know none of this shit. Like this ain't none of our business.
Yeah,
You
fuck
know?
nah. Currently, shout out to my son's name. Currently,
Right.
we are watching some crazy shit between them two. And we've been watching it. And then we watching some crazy shit
Then what?
between with his first baby mama. It's like um she wants to say, but she can't say. She wants to say, I'm completely jealous over this fucking baby right now. But she don't want to say that, so she just gonna always talk about some shit that's going on between Blueface and the kids that he has with her.
Yeah. 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 And then I mean, because the public loves Chrisean so much, they absolutely hate that first baby mom. And she don't make it no better. It's like she's leaning into the hate.
Right.
But
Yeah. I ain't saying they got a right to hate her. I'm saying I understand why.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, it probably would have just been best for her to play her position out of the spotlight. But with a baby daddy like Blueface, I'm sure that's not possible.
That shit, that shit's wild. It's like now, as a man talking to another man, um, I think Blueface is a brilliant. The way you formulated your life to be actually capable enough to do the things you do, you're brilliant for that. I just really want you to understand that um, your son means a lot to you, more than you really think that you know. Your son means a lot to you, and you really need to go check on your son. You really need to do that
Hmm.
because you're gonna realize that um, hell or high water, you're gonna always be there for him. And I want you to imprint
Yeah.
yourself on that before it's too late. Um, Only because
Hmm.
I'm a man, and I come from a product of a broken home, and I wish my father would have got to me sooner. By the time he wanted a relationship with me, I was already quote unquote what I considered a man, and so me and him would never have that relationship that he wants. And I know that hurts you.
Right.
So I hope that
Yeah.
you realize that before my dad realized that.
Yeah. Right. Right. Yeah. Because then at that point, the only person you can blame is yourself. You know.
Right.
Yeah. But wishing them all the best. So next up
Cheers, y'all.
is next up is the Tyrese Breakfast Club interview. Did you get a chance to watch it?
I did watch that shit. Yeah, I watched
Okay.
that.
All right. So Tyrese, who has been on the Breakfast Club a few times in the past, he recently came on the Breakfast Club, and it was like almost an hour and a half interview that they did. And there was a lot of things that they needed to get off their chest and clear the air. One thing is, a few years ago, DJ Envy cheated on his wife, and he did a public apology. And in this public apology, I guess they were on the verge of divorce, but Tyrese heard it. And so when Tyrese heard it, he reached out to DJ Envy, and he was like a big um, factor in the reconciliation of DJ Envy and his wife. He played a big part. It was a very selfless act, very selfless act. Um, and he's also had a professional and I guess somewhat personal relationship with Charlemagne the God as well. But back in I guess it was 2017 when all this happened, when he was going through his custody battle with his first wife, or yeah, his first wife. And when he was like spazzing out online and doing all these types of things online, when we got the whole congratulations video and stuff, which I still use that meme to this day. Um, so he was on psych meds, and apparently, not only did he go online doing a lot of weird, erratic stuff, but he was doing a lot of weird, erratic stuff to people offline in his personal. So a lot of people stopped fucking with him behind that. One of them being DJ Envy and his wife. So when he's going through another divorce, which he's been going through a divorce these past 3 years, I thought the divorce was done, but apparently not.
Right.
Um, Nobody offered him the same grace or courtesy or anything like that. Actually, the opposite. On the Breakfast Club, they not only report on it, which is their job, but they crack jokes, talk shit about it. So, with Tyrese going up there for this interview, he pretty much, started off the interview addressing his issues with the way that they report on him and how they don't offer him the same grace that he offered to them. Um, and like the majority of the interview was about that. He did offer the apologies that needed to be offered in regards to how he acted while he was on these psych meds and whatnot. But they said the issue is done or whatnot. But me personally, um, unfortunately, like my thoughts are unfortunately, you can't expect the same grace that you have given to people in return. Life just unfortunately doesn't act that way or doesn't pan out that way. So it would be great. It would be nice. It doesn't negate your feelings. It doesn't negate if it's right or wrong. how people treat you, but unfortunately, people don't have to treat you with the same grace and mercy and respect that you treat them. And it's a life lesson. Like
Yeah.
me personally, when it's not reciprocated to me, I know in the future not to fuck with that person on that level. And that just is what it is, you know. Um, what are your thoughts on that?
Um, well, first and foremost, I want to say this: anytime you see black men come together and actually put out their differences without it being a confrontation where someone has to put up fisticuffs,
Hmm.
because if a man has to put up fisticuffs over another man from talking, that means that man is not intelligent. So the fact that that happened, I want to say, hey, we need to really pay attention to that and like try to move forward as all as individuals into trying to seek resolution that way.
Hmm.
Uh, Now that's getting the nice shit out the way. The truth of the matter is, and this is just my opinion, what we seen
Hmm.
was two tender dick ass niggas having a tender dick ass moment. Hey, don't get it twisted. When I watch this interview, now I understand. Like, matter of fact, I overstand because in the field I work with, I
Hmm.
understand how certain medications make people act a certain way. So I understand that. At the
Wholeheartedly.
same time, yeah. At the same time, I also understand what it's like to be around a nigga who not only is self conscious but is light skinned. Them niggas got a chip on their shoulder that is bigger than motherfucking Mount Rushmore, and like they know they can do 100% wrong all the fucking time, and you bet not point that shit out to them because they act real fucking bitchy when it comes to it. Um, for me, this is one of those situations. I am going to piggyback off you, Lindsay. It is whatever you do for a person, you should not want to reciprocate it back. You should always just at the same time want the acknowledgement that you did it. That acknowledgement can just be like, yeah, you did it, but fuck you anyway. Okay, cool. I'm able to live with that as a man, but I just want you to acknowledge that that's what I did for you. At the same
Hmm.
token, I'm not never gonna say what you did, what you did for me. Not only am I not gonna do that, I'm also not going to try to explain some shit I can't explain. I can't explain what I was doing when I was on those meds because I can't explain how I was feeling. Like you said in that interview, I don't remember half of this shit. So I'm not gonna explain,
Right.
and I'm not gonna be like, well, just like God, I expect you. Nah, I'm not doing none of that shit, bro. I told you I was fucked up off meds. You still mad at me? You still mad at me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Then stay mad at me. Or you know what I'm saying? And if you're not willing to talk to me about this shit, you want to block me. You want to tell me in my face. This the shit where I understood that both of these niggas was tender dick niggas. Because listen,
Okay.
first of all, I'm not never gonna let a nigga tell me the way you talk to my wife, I should be boxing your mouth right now. Nigga, this interview is over. You about to come talk to me like a man, or you about to see if you gonna box my mouth. The fuck you talking about?
Hmm.
Don't try to do that shit on air. And then for two, for me is I'm never gonna explain myself to a nigga that says that's why I blocked you. The fuck? If you block me, then you block me. It
Yeah.
is what it is. Me and you ain't got no more conversation out of that. None. None. But that's just tender dick nigga issues. I'm not a tender dick nigga. So I'm not trying to figure out your feelings, my nigga. I ain't trying to figure that out. That's how you feel. That's how you feel. Let me go ahead and get out of here before something stupid happens. But I digress. Like I said, at the end of the day, I really do appreciate how these two or these three men got together and they vented out their differences and nothing came of it. At the same time, I'm still gonna pull you to the side and tell you, nigga, who the fuck you gonna hotbox mouse on? Like, nigga, what the fuck do you think you talking about for real? Like, nigga, we ain't doing that. I'm coming in here showing an olive branch, so I expect you to do the same.
Yeah.
Like, come on, get the fuck out of here. Like I told you, I was got nigga. This nigga, I remember the shit because when he said it on the interview, I remembered the shit being on the news. How like, yeah, he was really like calling Jada and saying some crazy shit. Now I just thought Tyrese was tripping. I didn't know nothing about the meds. But when that nigga was calling her because he was off that baby boy shit and calling her like he was Tupac, I remember that shit. That's when
It's
I knew
not
that nigga.
funny.
I thought the nigga was not. I said, damn. I was saying in my head, I'm like, that nigga needs some medication. Little did I know the medication was making him do this shit.
Yeah. I knew it was the mess because as soon as he came to, he um he did an interview with either Big Boy or Sway or Ricky Smiley. He did an interview with somebody. And and he said it on that interview, like my meds needed to be recalibrated. That's what that was. As soon as and in that interview he sounded normal. So as soon as he said that, being that I know a thing or two about medication being recalibrated, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense, you know. So
Yeah, I was like, nigga, what? Yeah,
yeah.
this nigga was calling Jada like he was Tupac.
That's not
Nigga,
funny.
wow. Just imagine you picking up the phone. Just imagine you Jada picking. You like, hello? And this nigga like, this nigga got on the phone talking about some. They say poor as Polish, you paper and pistols. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck are you talking about? Plotting on murdering motherfuckers for to get you. Like, nigga, you is high
Right,
as fuck, my nigga.
right. Like, oh my god.
Damn,
Yeah.
shit is wild.
Right. Oh Lord have mercy. Like, yeah. And then the whole thing with him saying that Will Smith gave him $5 million. It's just like give you $5 million. Like you're not broke. Like it was, all of it was weird. All of it was weird. And then he made them shirts with his daughter name on it and stuff. Like I mean, all of it was weird. It was weird for us to see, especially we we know Tyrese is extra, but for us as a fan to see him like that, I mean, we knew something was off, but I mean, we just automatically thought it was the custody battle that was making him off, right? Which in that in itself is somewhat understandable, but for you to be
Right,
in his inner circle and not check on him, especially when you know how much he did. And then this is the crazy part. They didn't even know what all he did for them. But as much as you knew that what he did was a lot. So I would have at least checked on my friend. But
but see, then you come into the realization that everybody's not your friend. Like, if Tyrese wasn't on the
yep,
meds, he would have realized envy ain't your fucking friend.
exactly,
Like, when it's all
exactly,
said and done, like him and Charlemagne, wherever they got going on, you understand that in that interview, I understand that they were still cool with each other, even when he was like, "Yeah, Charlemagne told you to suck his dick on that," and he just blew past it and yeah, whatever, because that's a relationship that they got. That's probably not the first time he even said that to him, so he ain't tripping off that, especially when he was off meds. He don't even remember that in the first place. You nigga. You tender dick ass light skinned nigga. This is what I'm trying to. He should have basically said like, if he was really gonna talk about it, because every nigga ain't a tender dick nigga, but I'm saying these two niggas was tender dick. Um, if it was just any other nigga, he should have just said, hey, the shit I did for you ain't what you did for me. So I understand what type of person you is. And I'm gonna just end it at that. Period. I just understand, without a apology, without anything, whatever it is. I don't give a fuck what you saw me doing. You could have seen me doing a bunch of shit. That doesn't mean I didn't help you in your situation. That's like
Mhm.
any nigga that grew up in the streets. You had an OG nigga that probably was a dope fiend nigga for real, but he taught you how to hustle. So that means you never bring up his dope fiend shit. You got to
Mhm.
respect that. But when niggas that don't
Right.
respect it, like DJ Envy, they're gonna put that on blast. Like, I don't think a lot of people was paying attention how DJ Envy slid in that jab talking about, yeah, when you was dealing with that all that stuff with your wife, but you was dealing with that girl that was overseas. Bitch ass nigga, why you got to bring that up? Why you even got to
Right.
talk? We not even
Right.
talking about that. We talking about the shit that I was doing for you and your wife. If you Even if you felt that way as a
Mhm.
man, that you didn't like what I was doing, why wouldn't you tell me that?
Right.
Like a non-tender dick nigga
Right.
would have
Right. Because
said that.
that's
Like,
where it initially started.
yeah, you talking this bullshit about the shit I said to your wife.
Yeah. Because that's where it
Nah, the
initially
first
started. Because yeah. Yeah. Because like what. So like when it initially started or whatever, I thought that that's where it was gonna go. Like, oh, so he did cheat on his wife, and that's the part that you're not rocking with. Especially when he brought up preachers, when he brought up the comparison to preachers,
right.
because we all know preachers are notorious for cheating. So yeah, so I was just like, oh okay, but then Tyrese was just like, well, I didn't do nothing that I don't know. Like I don't know why she left. So I was just like, okay,
I mean, and
this.
when push shove, the whole thing is, I mean, it's cool they did it. They did it on the air to squash that shit. But in real life, yeah, that laughing and joking and all that shit. I know niggas like DJ Envy. DJ Envy don't fuck with Tyrese. Period. I laugh and I joke and I say, yeah, I
Yeah.
apologize and all that. Tyrese can't call that nigga steal. I guarantee you. I know
Mm-mm.
light skinned tender dick niggas.
Yeah.
That's just one of those things, and I'm not
Right.
trying to be disrespectful. Like, so this is one of those things where I will forecast this. Like, if we ever get big and we do anything and we get on the Breakfast Club and he ever addresses me with that, I'm not gonna ever be disrespectful, but I'm gonna keep it real with him. Like, I just think it was a tender dick moment, my nigga. Like, I don't expect like we cool after that, but I'm gonna keep it 100.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Because if that's a nigga
Right.
that you really
Right.
fuck
As
with,
you
you not gonna
should.
do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You
I
not
just
gonna
think
do that.
I think that was whack. Yeah. I think that was whack. But DJ Envy, um, he has whack moments. I mean, both of them do, to be honest. I used to really enjoy watching them, but not so much. I think the only one that really didn't have a whack moment in that interview was just hilarious. You know,
Well,
cause
just a
like,
rookie.
yeah, that's true too. But um, like I understood why uh Charlemagne was mad, but I don't think it would have been that deep if he would have just understood what happened. Like I don't,
Right.
that's what I don't understand. Like, why did it take years later for them to be in this interview for, excuse me, for this interview? to come out that this is what happened,
Well, this
you
is
know,
Hollywood.
and
For me, this is Hollywood. So I can guarantee you that Charlemagne and Tyrese been squashed this shit, waiting on the time that they can get DJ Envy in there.
mm, it's possible. That's
Yeah,
possible.
because the way they interacted with each other about their problem, they both was nonchalant with it. They was both easy to go. So that means we've already had a discussion over this.
Yeah.
We really just want to talk to the elephant in the room, which is DJ Envy.
Hmm. Yeah. 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 Because I mean, their stuff was more business, and I mean, shit happens in business. It's business, Um, but yeah, the envy stuff was all personal.
Yeah,
So.
and not to and because I don't know that man's life or anything. I just know what he do on the Breakfast Club. And what
Hmm.
he do on the Breakfast Club, he really show you moments where he's real tender dick. Like right now, everybody knows your quarrels with your wife, bro. Like, not trying to be disrespectful or anything, because you're a man at the end of the day, and I recognize you're a man, you're a father, you're a husband. I recognize all that. At the same time, we all know you're a man, you're a father, you're a husband, and you and your wife has went through some shit, and we all know this. So stop
Yeah.
trying to be super tough when niggas bring that shit out. Like, what do you think you gonna fight everybody? Because you gonna run up on you. You've been telling people certain things, and I'm not saying this is ever gonna happen to you. God forbid it happen to you. But you be telling people certain things when it comes to niggas speaking on your wife. You're gonna run into one guy one day that you're gonna say that to, and that nigga gonna look you dead in the face and say, "Fuck you and your wife, nigga. I said what I said." And I don't think you really gonna jump up and hot box a nigga mouth for real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not saying you a bitch ass nigga or anything. I just think you gonna focus more on your career first.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm just like, y'all keep talking about what he said in these texts. I want to know what he said in the Texas shit.
And see, that's my thing. That's how I know
Yeah.
he didn't say too much. Whatever he said, they probably was like he on some high shit or some drunk shit and just let it go. But
Yeah.
again, when you a
Right.
tender dick nigga, you put the 2 on the 10. You say the shit that you said to my wife. Like he said, nigga, when I was texting your wife, I didn't even know your motherfucking name.
Yeah.
Like, so whatever I said to your wife, nigga, it couldn't have been crazy because I didn't even know who you was when she was talking about you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know your real name, nigga. I
Right.
know it's DJ Envy.
Right. Right. That was the
So it
crazy
wasn't
part.
too
Like
much.
you doing all of this, and he don't even know his name is Rashawn. Like
Yeah. This is the
so.
thing. And I can almost guarantee you this is what it was. As a man, he was probably saying whatever. She probably was saying something to him, and as a man, he was talking to her as a man. Now he didn't. I can 9 times out of 10 he didn't get disrespectful because DJ Envy always carried receipts. That's one thing I know about that man. He didn't say anything
Hmm.
about those text messages. So what it was is he was coming to her as a man, and she was getting upset and coming to DJ Envy, and DJ Envy was carrying that over like the shit you said to my wife. Nigga, you know when you read that shit, that nigga didn't say too much because you didn't even bring it up. Nigga, and I know you bring shit up.
Right. Right. Because if he would have been like "fuck you" or something like that, DJ Emmy would have most definitely said that. Like you told my wife "fuck you" and your ugly ass kids. Like
Yeah.
you know.
You
So
already brung up that I was fucking with a bitch overseas, so you would have definitely said if I was sending your bitch like nasty texts and all that old extra shit.
oh yeah, that would have most definitely came out. Most
So you didn't
definitely
say
came
nothing
out.
because what it was is that nigga didn't say nothing at all disrespectful as a man. She just got upset with the way he said shit to her, and she came to you, and
Hmm.
you was trying to salvage your marriage because you're a tender dick nigga, and I'm not flossing you because every tender dick nigga can end up being a firm dick nigga. Listen, I was a firm dick nigga, and then I fucked with the wrong bitch and
Mhm.
became a tender dick nigga, and then I had to realize once I dropped that bitch, my dick need to get back hard. So I'm not telling you that, you know what I'm saying, it can't happen, but what you did was you went on some tender dick nigga shit, on some defending your wife when she didn't need to be defended. And the only reason why I say that
Mhm.
is because you couldn't bring up anything about it.
Right, right. Right, which is definitely possible. Which is definitely possible. Oh, right. So, yeah, so that's that. Um, Next up is Sheree Whitfield. Sheree Whitfield is as many of you know, uh Atlanta housewife. This past Sunday they had their first part of their reunion for season 15. One thing that got brought up was the fact that well, not well, I wouldn't say the fact, but the designer of her of a lot of the pieces that was used in her fashion show that was aired on season 14, he's come out saying that he hasn't been paid. And it got brought up on the reunion, and Sheree came with a receipt saying that the person that she worked with um said that Sheree paid her and she paid the person. So the designer did an interview, and in said interview, he came with a lot of information. He said basically she was very unknowledgeable to the whole design fashion world. She's very unknowledgeable, and um, they came to him 7 days before the fashion show and wanted him to initially make 8 pieces. Then it ended up turning in. It went from 8 pieces to 40 pieces, and he ended up making the pieces. Um, he ended up being on site the day of the fashion show to, assist with any alterations to get, I mean, just to help backstage. And all of this stuff adds up, as far as money is concerned. The only thing that he was paid was the reimbursement for the money that he put in. And it wasn't even a full reimbursement. He paid $2,500, um, and he only received $2,000. And it was a lot. This person is pretty much solidified in the game. He went to a fashion institute. He's worked with big names, big fashion houses. He's been in the game for about like 15 years. He does. I mean, he does what he does, and he does it well. The person that Sheree was working with is a she has her own clothing store as well. So she's very like her name is very good in the fashion industry as well. And so she had the connection with him. So he pretty much, put her on blast. So with you, like before when we talked about Sheree last year after the fashion show, um, with you being a person that owns a clothing line, when you hear all of what's transpired with this situation, what are your thoughts?
First and foremost, my thoughts is this, my dude, being in this business, you got to understand that down payments, down payments got to damn near be um, what's going to be your livelihood. So if you're ever in a situation where a motherfucker tell you, hey, they want to go and do 8 pieces, um, whatever you charge them has to be your livelihood for that month. You know, whether it's paying your rent, paying your gas, your lights, your water. If it's something simple as that, it has to be that because you got to really understand that when you're building a brand, the only way you can build a brand is if the things around you don't crumble. So it should never be a situation where you're doing something for somebody and they ain't gave you payment up front. Um, and I mean significant payment. You know, because I've seen his
Hmm.
receipts. A motherfucker give me $450 to create something that I told him it was gonna cost at least 25 for. I would have told them that's their retainer fee, and when they want to actually do business with me, they're gonna give me a down payment.
Yeah.
But that's just me. This is one of those things where I believe he's totally correct. At the same time, I believe that this man needs to make sure that his real business isn't getting taken over by scammers because you know you got all these receipts about how you established and you've been around for 15 years. If you're established enough to know certain things like that, when you're trying to when you're dealing with somebody who has been doing things and has not been prospering over it, you're supposed to be the one to give them the game. You
Yeah.
supposed to be like, nigga, why nigga, give me this 2 racks. I'll make sure you make 4 right now. Like you should be that guy
Yeah.
when you know you're dealing with that. It should never be a situation where you're gonna sit here and you're gonna get on a podcast and you're gonna put this lady on blast. Now I understand, you know, you are owed monies, but you're owed monies because you don't dot your motherfucking I's or cross your fucking T's, my nigga. That's why you owe
Yeah.
money. You know, let's keep it 100. If you were really the established person that you say you is, it wouldn't have been no. First of all, um this lady is on a reality TV show. If you were really that person, they would have put you on that show. So let's just start digging
Oh,
away at those
that's
chairs there.
another thing. That's another thing. So he has worked with other housewives in the past. But at the fashion show in particular, the producers wanted Sheree to film a scene with him. Sheree refused.
Then you take all your shit back. This is what this is the thing. Like I'm
And
doing this for the betterment of
he
you.
has,
Yeah, like you, I'm doing
right.
this for the betterment of you, but
Yeah,
at the
he
same
has.
time, I'm doing this for the betterment of you. I'm supposed to get a kickback from that. At the end of the day, you got to really
Yeah,
understand this is a kick. You got to get a kickback.
right.
This is
Right.
business
I
here.
feel like I feel like because everybody knows that she has struggled with this fashion line for the longest throughout the duration of the show. The show's, like I said, on its 15th season right now. But I feel like he may have like let things slide or reduced the price or did things without being compensated because of the fact that it would be publicity. He probably would get more business out of it. You know what I'm saying? Because like people do like reduce fees for
You-
um for stuff when they are being promoted by that person that they reduced the fee for. You know what I'm saying?
You're
So
100% right.
because it was like
You're 100% right.
business.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're 100% right. That's what people do. But those the same people that do that and reduce fees, you know what they do? They also put you under contract
contract.
so they don't get
Absolutely,
fucked over.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah. And Sheree has a reputation for fucking people over. When it comes to paying bills. So she does have that reputation. So I just, I mean, it's a messed up situation. I totally believe everything he's saying. Like
Yeah,
he definitely was credible, but excuse me, she's not gonna get that. He's not gonna get that money back unless he sue her. And he said that it might not be worth it to sue.
it's not
But
worth it. At the end of the day, this is see,
yeah,
this is the thing. This is why in today's society, we have these emotional men. You know, he rather just a because if you're just my thing is if you're this elite designer like you say you are, this is just a stepping stone. You know, when you talk about this story, you talk about this story 30 years from now. That's when you
yeah,
don't talk about it right now because fuck that fucking brand because that brand is never gonna go nowhere. You already seen it. You seen it
yeah,
didn't move until you did something, and then you still didn't get paid from it. So what is the gain right here? The gain is just to show everybody you can be fucked
yeah,
over.
yeah, yeah. And this is the thing because last year when she did the fashion show, everybody loved what came down the runway, right? Well, when the website launched, nothing that was on the runway was on the website. It's something totally different on the website. So everybody's wondering, like, where's the fashions from the fashion show? Well, he's not releasing them to her because of this issue. And here we are a year later, and he still hasn't been compensated or anything like that. So, me personally, if I was him because everybody loved what they saw, I would just release it myself.
Yeah,
I would just release it myself. Yeah.
that's
Like
it.
this, like
That's how
I'm
you do that.
sure
And then,
that maybe that wasn't part of the plan. Right. I'm sure that maybe that wasn't part of the plan of him wanting to, have his own fashion line, especially an athleisure line. But, you know, origin stories are origin stories for a reason. And this could be his origin story for a multi-million-dollar fashion line,
exactly. And that's
you
what I'm
know?
saying. Like some things don't need to be put on blast. Like um, just for the audience, man. This is for the men in the audience, or even for the women. Like just keeping it real. Some things like don't need to be put on blast. Like I get it. People fuck people over all the time. Uh, Case in point, this situation right here. I'm in business with a clothing line. I've been fucked over plenty of times. I've had
Hmm.
deadlines. People ain't came up with my product. Things that I've been through all this shit. I've been fucked over. I've sent money overseas and never got any merchandise back.
Mm.
I'm never gonna sit there and make those decisions by talking about it.
Right.
It's just gonna be one of those things that it's a learning lesson. I get through it. I understand it, and now that I understand it, it will be my lesson.
Yeah. Yeah. Like it's growing pains and learning lessons, you know. And it's unfortunate on on his side, but I mean, you got the money makers right there. Just just get those prints out, you know. But
If you
it,
already got them, ain't no sense of sitting there even dealing with them.
right, right. But it's been a year, and he's come out probably like once or twice about the situation, but it wasn't until this past interview that he was like, "All right, I'm about to tell it all," because now you on TV trying to play me and trying to act like I've been paid and I ain't been paid. So yeah, so that's why he was just like, one, two, three, that's enough, and which I can understand and respect, but it's just crazy. It's like this 50-something year old woman still is on her BS with bills. So, but anyway,
Right.
so that's the Sheree story. Let's see. Okay, so our last story is this young lady in Houston. She comes online and she lets the world know that a guy asked for her number and she refused and she got hit in the head with a brick. Um, when I initially saw the video, it was the video of her in the hospital crying. Whole face, this whole side of her face is swollen. She looks completely deformed. She's crying. She doesn't know why anybody would do this to her. She hasn't done anything to warrant something like that. And how it was a bunch of dudes around her um, that didn't do anything. So, of course, it goes viral. Everybody's like, oh my God, that's messed up. So, the internet, being the internet, they started, doing some digging on this lady. Come to find out, I think she's Somalian,
Yep.
and she has made videos against American Black women, pretty much saying that um, we get things from the trans community and we're just mad because they're gonna take our men. She's also made videos where she goes around yelling at white men and smacking them in the face. So those videos went viral as well. Then there was a couple of guys that were present when she got hit with the brick, and they said pretty much she antagonized the man. I don't think they necessarily said that she deserved it, but they was
No, they
like,
didn't say she deserved it.
yeah, I don't think they said that, but what they did say was that if it happened again, they'll do the exact same thing,
And
and they
she
not
was
about to
actually
jump
arguing
in.
with a man and a woman.
Oh, she was arguing with a man and a woman. Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
then there was another video that came out of her. She recorded at the incident. So yeah. Um, you know, uh we live in a day and age where people just pretty much mind their business,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't 100% be mad at somebody who minds their business because I remember hearing stories of people who did intervene and the rage turned on them and then they're no longer here.
Yep.
In the same breath, she was she, if we go off of the story that she initially gave, hey, can I get your number? No, brick. She was actually a lucky one. Cause like we discussed earlier in the week, I remember a story. You actually know the person in the story
Yeah.
that basically the same thing happened.
Yeah.
She declined to give her number, and she's no longer here.
She
So,
no longer.
um,
Not
I
only
remember
is she
hearing
no
that as a
longer here.
kid.
Hold on. Fun fact. Not even taking that out because
Yeah,
that's a real situation that a lot of people. Not only is she no longer here, um, she's no longer here in the worst way. Like y'all be thinking certain shit be real sweet out here, and you be thinking like niggas be getting died because they get hit by a straight bullet or they get hit by a bullet because the nigga is weird. No, um, the whole intentions in that situation, of what happened in that situation was the intention was to slice her, and they sliced her to kill her. So like it's I really want people to understand certain even bringing that up because like I told you like
Yeah.
that was something that was real close to me. Um,
Right.
yeah, you got to realize that like certain people don't play like you play.
Yeah.
Like you think it's our
Yeah.
words.
Yeah.
A lot of these people don't play
100.
like
Yeah. Right. And I remember hearing that story as a kid, and I was spooked after that. And I was just like, well, shoot. They ask me, I'm giving it to them. I don't care. Like, just won't answer the phone if they call or something like that. There has been a couple of times where I did decline, and there was one particular time where I declined, and the dude looked at me like, "Bitch, I'll kill you." And I was like, "Okay, let me go into this store." You know, so it's just it's oh I mean it's unfortunate because you should be able to live in your you should be able to live in this world without giving everybody a number if you don't want to. You know what I'm saying? Like you shouldn't have to think about oh the consequences of me not giving my number is death. You know, uh,
yeah.
like but but I mean unfortunately that's not the world that we live in now.
It's not. It's not because I just had this conversation with Jasmine. And I was like, damn. I grew up in a time where you know um, motherfuckers would you know what I'm saying would try to holler at a girl and the girl would say no and the girl was a bunch of bitches.
Yeah.
Um, every now and then we had some things escalate, like the situation that we were just talking about. The truth behind that story is he tried to talk to her, she shut him down. His girlfriend is the one that sliced her.
Wow.
That's the
Wow.
truth of the story. That's the truth of the
Wow.
story. I can go deep into it, but I'm not gonna go deep into it. But what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what it was. He got shut down. He told his girl some other shit, and they went in that motherfucker and tried to and sliced her and the people she was with. She just happened to just not make it.
Mm. Wow. Wow. All because of him being rejected.
Just because of him being rejected. So,
Yeah.
my thing about the whole situation is, one, I deep dived into it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
like I watched every single uh, podcast and situation talking on this issue, and I want to address. I just want to take it back and start addressing certain things.
Okay.
One, I, one I will address. Nobody, man or woman, should ever put their hands on each other. Like, period. When you get into a moment of anger, I feel like um, because you think a situation is gonna be a certain way, but you don't know how everybody moves, you shouldn't put your hands on people. I'm just a stickler in that.
Yeah.
But another thing I will say is this lady was used to nobody ever doing anything to her. You know, she has been very disrespectful. Even though she was disrespectful to white man, she's very disrespectful to men. Not only that, she her little things that she does, she belittles men.
Yeah.
She talks down to them. Another thing I will say, skipping all that, is to say, this ain't the first time this lady has been through any of this. She had made an allegation. Nobody has a video of this, but she had an allegation of a man assaulted her, and she went and had a GoFundMe page, and she racked up 20 grand out of that.
Oh, see, I thought that the GoFundMe was for this situation, so it was for
I don't know.
another one.
She got two of them. Go ahead and research it. She got two of them. One was a
Oh
couple of
wow.
years ago, where she said, you know, she as a Muslim woman, she got assaulted by a man, and they gave her 20 grand.
Wow.
Now, in this situation, she's going through that. She popped up another OnlyFans, and it racked up to 34 grand. Right now, they said 34K.
Yeah, that's
So
crazy.
this bitch is a habitual line stepper, and she's an habitual
Yeah,
scammer. This what it.
yeah,
I hate to talk bad. Um, if I bring Jasmine out here, she'll tell you. Yesterday, I was like, I'm trying to find my best to find the silver lining into this lady, so I won't totally disrespect her. But I'm fully just about to totally disrespect her because um, the thing about it is, no, you're not justified for getting a brick in your face. I ain't never saying that. I'm not never saying anything justifies for a man to hit you in the face with a brick. That's just
right,
me.
right.
What I will say is this though. How do we know? How do we know that happens? In a world that we live in, where as soon as a woman and a man are arguing, the first thing people do is pick up their phones. Why is that not there? Another thing is this. Every
Yeah,
This is why I tell people stop playing with folks. People were pulling up pictures
yeah.
where she was in this club and she had her face covered the whole time, like a ninja. She had her face, so nobody knew what she looked like the whole time in the club. Yeah, you know, when I did my deep dive, I deep dive.
Mm,
So they got pictures of her having her whole
right,
face covered.
right.
You can only see her eyes. And the place she was at is a place in Houston where it's nothing but Somalians. Now, in that thing that I
Yeah.
just said, I will say this. All of a sudden, she picks up a camera, shows her face, and say a nigga hit her. And then if you hear the people in the background, they like, what brick? Like, what are you talking? Like, they probably seen her being belligerent with that nigga and didn't say anything. They seen her being belligerent with that bitch, didn't say anything. When she
Hmm.
noticed that, that's when she picked up her phone. All of a sudden, the mask is off, and you got this big ass hematoma over your face. Not saying because if they did hit you in the face with a brick, okay, that's fucked up. At the same time, I don't think it's what we think it is. I think she's fully scamming folks. I think that maybe to her with the bitch she fucked with because she is a lesbian, and she probably got cracked in the face with the ironing board, and then she waited for the situation to happen so she can get money off of it. That's what I think.
Wow.
Just because
Wow. So your theory
what
is
I'm looking at the things that are coming out.
right, right. So your theory is that the person that she's accusing hit her didn't hit her at all. That she got hit somewhere else and she set this shit up.
Yeah, I think she set this shit up, and I think she set it up. And this is the thing. And I'm not downplaying Somalians, but what I will say in my experience with Somalians, y'all don't call each other nigga. You know why y'all don't call each other nigga? Because y'all don't want to be labeled as black. Y'all say y'all Somalian. Y'all black. Um, this is a Somalian issue, but she made it because it has to go viral. It has to be a nigga that hit her on the street. Listen, I'm a nigga. I'm a nigga, and I'm gonna tell you outright as a nigga,
Mm.
I ain't gonna hit a bitch in the face with a brick unless it's a gang of them bitches trying to jump me with bricks. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
When we going brick
we
for
going
brick.
brick for brick at that point. Other than that, I'm just not about to randomly hit
Yeah.
no bitch with a brick because I'm a nigga. You're not gonna say a nigga hit me.
Yeah.
You know, a nigga didn't hit you. A Somalian dude hit you. That's a Somalian issue. But we
Hmm.
also know in those and Somalian ancestry and other African ancestry how they play with their women. They don't. And she's one of them that play with a lot of people. They don't play. They don't do none of that extra shit. So say what it
Yeah.
is. And you was getting into it with a nigga and a bitch. That bitch probably hit you with a brick, but it wasn't a nigga. The nigga probably would have. He probably would have threw your ass somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And there's no video. There's no video of the altercation. This is the thing. In the world we live in, we're a world full of phones. It's no video of. Everybody pulls out their
Right.
phone when it's an
And if there was
altercation.
an issue, exactly, exactly. And if there was an issue, if she didn't pull out her phone, somebody would have pulled out their phone. Yeah.
Exactly. We
Just
would have
on the
seen that
strength
shit.
of something might happen.
That
Hmm.
bitch talking about she got hit with a brick. I can guarantee you that shit would have been everywhere. Seeing this bitch get hit by a brick.
Yeah.
That ain't what happened.
Yeah.
What happened was you said something to the wrong nigga in front of his bitch, and that bitch probably clocked you, but you already had that hematoma.
Hmm.
That's what I
Yeah.
believe. I believe you already had it. Because ain't no way in the world. And
Hmm.
then the pictures that show, I'm just going off the pictures. The pictures show the whole time you in this place, you were in a bar, which is a Somalian bar. That's why I keep on want to say,
Hmm.
stop always saying nigga, because I don't even want to call y'all self nigga, bitch. Don't do that. When y'all get to each other, y'all don't call each other niggas. Y'all Somalian. Y'all don't even
Hmm.
like us. So, and not saying all
Yeah.
Somalians don't like us, but I know the majority be that kind, because I know Somalians.
Hmm.
What I'm
Yeah.
saying is that's a Somalian issue. Ain't no nigga hit you with no brick. That Somalian dude hit
Mm.
you. So talk about your Somalian brothers. Don't talk about
Yeah.
us, because we don't do that. Half of us grew up with abusive moms, so we ain't know what I'm saying. We never gonna let certain situations happen. Unless we just know a motherfucker asking for it. Now I will say I've been one of those niggas that step in certain situations. But I've also
Hmm.
been that nigga to be like, you know what? I ain't getting into that. I had no business hitting that nigga across the.
Yeah. 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 Because I was thinking, like, like once it started escalating, it wouldn't have been nothing for another guy to like intervene and be like, "Hey, bro, chill." You know what I'm saying? That's a female. Let it ride. Come on with me. Let's walk. Um. But with all this information coming out, it's like I totally, which I understood before, but I totally understand nobody intervened. Because again, like I said before, we have heard of situations where people did intervene and the aggression turned on them and they're no longer here.
Yeah,
So it's like with the generation coming up, what would you tell um a young girl that's starting, that's coming up? What would you tell that person that in, like, let's just take this situation and put it to the side. But in a situation where a dude is asking for a number, she doesn't want to give it to him. She doesn't want to talk to him or anything. What would you tell? What would you tell that young girl how to handle that?
I would tell that young girl just like my mother told my sisters growing up. A lot of people are dumb. A lot of people don't pay attention to numbers. Um, I would always tell them to always give your number out, and that last number you change. So if your
But see,
number is
this is
eight
the
one
thing.
six 574 6439, you say 6432, and you get the fuck
Yeah.
out of there.
But see, this is the thing because nowadays it's people ain't waiting until they go home. People people are like trying to call you right then. Like, okay, or I'm about to text you so you can have my number, you know.
In that
So
case,
what
I
I
would always tell people,
thought, cause
why
like,
you just don't, why you just don't put tell them, hey, I don't give add my Instagram.
yeah, yeah, that's the idea. And I heard that like some people, that's what they do now. Like the kids, that's what they do now. Instead of exchanging numbers first, they exchange social media first.
Yeah,
But I'm like,
add my
social
Instagram.
media? I don't know if I want to give you my social media. Even though it's
I'd rather
open,
give
I
you
don't know.
my social media, what you put on your social media, and that just going that's you, period. So if that's you on your first hand, that's the first layer. So that's the
Yeah.
appetizer. So if you want to know anything else about me, I have to get to
Uh,
know you through the appetizer.
okay. Okay. I can get jiggy with that. Um, I've seen a lot of people say that they would give the number and then once they get to a safe place, block it. But in the same breath, a number is personable. You can possibly find out somebody's address through a number, you know? So,
I mean,
and
I
I'm
wouldn't
like,
advise.
yeah, that sound good.
Yeah, it sounds great, but I wouldn't advise you to give your number out just because. In that situation, you have to realize, like, yeah, you blocked them off one phone. Nowadays, these niggas be having three, four phones.
Yeah, right,
So
right.
don't
And depending
fuck
on
give
how
me your number out.
persistent, yeah,
Especially if they got like two Androids and an Apple, and you got an Apple phone. Yeah, they gonna call you from their Android, but on their Apple phone, they gonna find out where you at.
right, right, exactly, exactly. So, yeah, yeah. So, on the reverse, with a guy, and what kind of advice would you give a guy to handle a situation when they are rejected?
The only advice I would have to say for a man who is rejected is accept rejection. Your whole life you're gonna hear no. I mean, as a man, a lot of people don't think a lot of people think men just go through this world, especially white men. They think white men just go through this world like just getting everything they want. Um, and that might be true for some white men, but I'm a black guy. As a black guy, you know what you're gonna hear 80% of the time? Fucking no. You're gonna hear no 80% of the time as a black man. So you got to get over that, nigga. Um, in the immortal words of our ancestors, you wouldn't act that way toward that white nigga. So why you gonna act that way towards me?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Don't act like you gonna trip out with me. But that white man that could have got you a job and made sure that your rent was paid and made sure that you paid your motherfucking child support, that nigga told you no, you ain't shot up that shit not one time. But you gonna shoot up, you gonna shoot me, you gonna hit me because I ain't offering up no pussy for the night.
right.
Come on, man. You I forget this lady's name, but she was an activist in the 70s. And I mean, this is why I tell niggas all the time because what she said, it was so prolific. I remember hearing this shit in the fucking fifth grade, and I keep this shit on me for the rest of my life. That lady said,
Uh-huh.
you need to start lying to me like you lie to that white man. You be tired. You don't want to do that job. As soon as that white man tell you something, you say, you good, boss. I'm okay, boss. I'm cool, boss. I'm ready to do this. I'm ready to do that. As soon as you get home, you ready to beat me down. You need to start
Mm-hmm.
lying to me like you lie to your white boss. I know you tired. Let me fix you something to eat. I know you tired. Let me run your bath water. But I can't do that when you beating on me. So you need to learn to lie to me like you lie to that white man. And that stuck to me because my
Right.
mother was abused. You know what I'm saying? I watched my mother
Yeah.
getting abused growing up, and then eventually I start getting abused. So that stuck with me when I heard that shit, because that's the truth.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's both good advice. I think that's both good advice. Yeah. Now, the one thing I struggle with is the whole intervening. Like, do you tell the young kids, like, when you see a woman in duress, do you intervene or do you mind your own business? Because at the end of the day, you want that person to come home. You know, you don't want them to meet their demise over some foolishness they ain't had shit to do with them. So that's the one thing I struggle with.
And you ain't supposed to struggle with it. I'm gonna tell you right now. The whole thing of the matter is nobody. I'm gonna look the audience dead in the face when I say this. None of y'all, not a single near one of y'all, getting the dick and pussy business. When you see a situation where a man and a woman are arguing, and y'all hear this argument, and y'all understand they together, you don't get in the dick and pussy business. Now, when you see a random
Hmm.
man doing some random shit to a woman, yeah, I can see you stepping up. Even in that, you gotta be cautious, because you don't never know where niggas is. I'm always cautious when I do that, but I've learned from my mother that when you see certain things, you need to step up. I remember I probably was 6. I'll never forget. I was 6 years old, and I had a woman come up to me and she was like, "Hey, how you doing?" And I'm like, "What's up?" I'm like, "I don't know this bitch." But she like, "Hey, how you doing? Like, where we going tonight? And where's Tammy and all that?" And I'm like, "I don't know." When she was like, "Where'd she go? We need to find her." And I'm like, "Okay, let's go." And then I was telling me like, this nigga just kept on fucking hounding me, and I was telling him I was
Hmm.
cool. And then I felt a splash. I think this nigga threw a drink on me, but he just continued to follow me. So I found, you know what I'm saying? I found the first nigga, and I was like, "Oh, okay, I got you, cool."
Yeah.
In certain situations, that yeah, you need to step up for it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You need to step up for it. It's, that whole principle of nigga, only black men only take care of something that they have, or something that their family, or something that they possess. That is true. I'ma always take up for Jasmine. I'ma always take up for my mother. I'ma always take up for my sisters. At the end of the day, I'ma still always take up for black women though. you know. But those
Hmm.
situations require the understanding situation. At the time, like I was like, okay, cool, I'm gonna get her out of this situation. But at the same time, I knew, um, shit, I had, you know what I'm saying, it was fucking 10 feet to my motherfucking car, so I can get where I need to be if I have a problem. You need to assess the situation. I ain't telling everybody to be
Yeah.
motherfucking Captain Hook, or no motherfucking Batman and Robin. What I'm telling you is you need to assess the situation on certain things when it comes to protecting black women.
Yeah. Yeah. I can agree with that as well. I can agree with that as well. Um, well, as far as this lady, I mean, I hope your face heals, and I hope you learn from this. You know.
I hope your
So
face don't heal.
move,
I'm
moving.
gonna just keep it real. I'm not even gonna do that. I hope your face don't heal. I hope you have that permanent scar on your face
Yeah.
for life. You know why I say that? It's because um, the first thing you did before you even went to the hospital was got on social media, which further for me tells me that this shit happened
Hmm.
before you even went to the club. Second thing is you wouldn't had a
Hmm.
GoFundMe for a brick in the face. Like, what the
Right.
fuck do you need a GoFundMe for a brick in the face? you already been to the hospital, so you got some type of contingency. Even though even if you don't have insurance and it's a high ass bill you never gonna pay, they took care of that. You're not paying your
Mm-hmm.
medical bills with that $34 fucking thousand. So I hope that motherfucker never go away. And I hope
Mm-hmm.
you realize you picked the right one that day. Like my grandma used to say. My grandma used to be like, shit, every man ain't gonna do this and every man ain't gonna do that. But sometimes you pick the right one. You pick the right one.
Yeah.
If allegedly if you got hit in the face, you picked the right one. And that was just all of the karma from every time you smacked a white man in the face and thought you can twerk on him and it was all good.
Mm-hmm. Right. You thought that shit was cute. Yeah. But that's
You
that.
little funny looking ass bitch.
So
Fuck this. Fuck this bitch. I know I had to get off camera, but I'm getting off camera to say, man, fuck this bitch because of just the way she talked about man. She disrespected man so much, and then she turned around and said, "I want y'all to be man. I want y'all to be man." How the fuck we gonna be man when you already told us we don't protect you? So let us be man and not
Mhm.
protect you, you fucking stupid bitch.
Right. You said that with your chest.
Yeah, man, I mean that shit.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's that on the brick lady. Which she will probably forever be known as the brick lady. So, the last part is best verse. So for this for this week when we do best verse, um, it's the LBC crew, and it's their song "Beware My Crew." So if anybody remembers this song, it was on the Thin Line Between Love and Hate soundtrack, and it was a Roger Troutman sample. So it was one, two, three, four. It was five. It was five people. Um,
Yeah,
Badass, Trey D, Technique,
cinema,
Cinema, and
love, C style.
yeah. So
I don't like how you fix your nose when I say a little season now. You like, yeah, whatever.
no, that wasn't on purpose. You know, I'm still recovering from this cold. So who do you think had the best verse?
The best verse for me would have to go. Mm, this is hard because I want to say, I really want to say cinema, but then I really want to say, um, Lil C style um, verse was really dope. Um, so I'll just go. That's my tie between one and two.
Yeah. Um, Lil C Style always stood out to me. It stood out to me in the movie. It still stands out to me now. Um, because you know, like when he'd be like, "So you can throw a lick." Like I don't know why that part always stuck out to me, but I was reading the comments. What made me even pick this song was because I was reading the comments. Because I just one I just one day was like, I'm gonna pull this video up and watch it. And when I was reading the comments, a lot of people said technique, and they were saying they was going a step further and saying that people are saying badass, but that's because he's no longer here.
Yep.
But the
That I
real
mean,
person, yeah, but they were saying the real person is technique, and technique is the second one, and C style is the last. So, but but yeah, then I had to go back and listen. I was just like, let me, because I don't really pay attention to technique. So I was like, let me go back and listen and see what they talking about. And
Lyrically,
I mean, yeah,
lyrically, techniques, techniques delivery was really dope.
he wrote the beat.
Yeah,
I think he wrote the beat the best.
as far as like lyrically, he was really dope. But on some really listening to like you want to go best verse, it has to be Lil C style because Lil C style not only made it gangster, but it made it. You know, he ended it with a bop. Like he mentioned crews, he mentioned niggas. I like it was a bop. You know what I'm saying? He made that. He made it what it was supposed to be. Now Trey D is always gonna be hood. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And Trey D's
he
voice
still to this day.
first ain't cabby, but technician, and shout out for him to have that name technician. Um, because in the city, we have tech, but
Hmm.
technician actually, yeah, he did his thing. A lot of people say that because if you think about it now, a lot of people dumb it down. So the nigga that ride the beat is always gonna be the best for niggas in this now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I think, I think that's what people were gravitating to towards technique for because he wrote the beat the best. But then I also understand people being like, y'all trying to say it's badass because he's no longer here. I get that that annoys me. Like, don't be paying attention to him now that he's gone. Pay attention to him while he was here. So,
What
and
I
I'm not
will
even taking
say,
away from badass because he did do good on the song. Like everybody actually did good on the song.
everybody did phenomenal on the song. What I will say is, badass turned out to be the best lyricist out of that whole thing because he was able to chop it up on his own twice.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you gonna give him that, you gonna give him that because of what he evolved into.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Because he was dope. Rest in peace to him. But but yeah, yeah. So that was LBC crew. Beware my crew. It just really sucks that we cannot play it. So that song, I don't know because of the sample or what, but that song just goes hard. Because I mean, the Roger Troutman sample, the original song goes hard. So
The original song goes hard, and then for Nate to slide in on that motherfucker makes it even more harder. Rest in peace to Nate Dogg.
hmm, yeah,
Rest in peace to Badass
right.
too.
Rest in peace to him. Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. All right. So I don't. Oh, I do have a final thought. So
Yeah.
yeah. So for anybody who owns any property right now in in the Kansas City, Missouri area specifically, make sure you look at the your property assessment amount and get that shit handled. Cause them people down there are fucking terrorists and
Mm.
they're horrible. They're horrible. They're trash. Um, my mama has been down there 5 times trying to get this shit handled. And yeah. And it's still not over. It's still not over. She's gonna have a hearing now. and she has two properties. I went with her yesterday, and we had to tag team them people. They're very like dismissive and argumentative, and then want to tell you to calm down, and they're doubling the amount on these properties. And we all know why, especially if you own a property in the city, we all know why they're trying to do this, because they're trying to get people up out of their property that they have
Yeah,
been owning for generations, so that they can get the white folks back down in the city. It's gentrification. And like we know what it is. We know what it is. So I just tell everybody that and then this is the crazy part about all of that. They got black people on the front line, so that makes it 10 times worse, because you know what they're doing to the community. But this is your job at the end of the day. But it's not your job to be an asshole,
yeah.
and it's not your job to be dismissive. You know, and if we would just listen, a 30-minute conversation could have been handled in five. But they don't want to listen. So, yeah, so I employ everybody who owns property to definitely take a look at your assessment and go through the channels to try to get that reduced, because this is some straight up bullshit what they're doing. And, that's my final thought. Lily, Jerry's final thought. Take it away.
Well, my Jerry's final thought, piggybacking off of what you said, is I want everybody to do this, especially in the black community. You know what's happening. We're being gentrified. So I will say this: start looking into certain things where you can make sure that your property is your property. That has been something that I've been looking at for a couple of days now. I need to talk to somebody and Google who I need to talk to make sure that I can make it right. Um, this probably sounds crazy to a bunch of people, but I'm gonna keep it totally real. Hey, check this out. You got a mama in Forest Hill. Uh, you got a mama in some of these other cemeteries. Hey, get your mama out that cemetery. Cemetery. You bought that house. Bury your mama in the back of it. Go ahead and do that. Make sure that that land is yours. That land is going to be tax free, and it's going to be your land. And the only way they can give it up, unless it's one of those domains where they're going to build a highway through. If they're never going to build a highway through, um, they're always going to make sure that that's your land. Um, if you guys pay attention, like if you're driving through the highway and you see all these nice houses, or you see all this land, and you see that small person in the middle of the land, like a small house, don't look like nothing, nothing's going on with it, but it's just a small house out of nowhere. It's because this the game these people they learn. They buried their loved ones, or they cremated their loved ones, and they put a plaque in their yard, and they made sure that their yard becomes uh, a land that can't be tax free and a land that can't be touched, and they put it in a trust. So
Mm,
start looking at that shit. Start looking at things of that nature. I got I know a Jewish dude right now. That's the only reason why I know the game, is because the Jewish dude was like, "Yeah, I'm just I'm burying my mama, and we gonna put her in the backyard." And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Yeah, because I'm gonna make sure that the property is always gonna be in my son's name." And I was like, "That's
mm,
crazy." When he broke it down to me, like he didn't,
yeah.
because, and I'm not shooting down on Jewish people, so please don't shut us down. What I'm saying is, he didn't tell me fully what I need to know. He was just like, "Yeah, you know, um, your backyard can be a graveyard, and then that's forever in your property and your family's name." He told me, he said, think about it. He was like, remember in the westerns where when people got killed, they just buried them in the backyard, and the land was always their land.
Hmm.
That shit is
Yeah.
real. He
Yeah.
just didn't give me the full details, so I've been googling shit lately. So
Yeah.
I'll tell you just to start doing things of that nature. For my
Hmm.
final thought, My final thought, I'm gonna say
Yeah.
this. Mm. Hey, stop shooting down niggas that fuck with midgets, man, or little people. Stop shooting down niggas to do that, man. What y'all fail to realize is they legs is small and they arms are small, but that body in the middle is a full grown woman body, man. And y'all got to stop shooting people down for that. These niggas be getting real. Um, I'm talking about damn near untouched pussy when they fuck with small people. Like it ain't too many dudes. And then you women, I'm gonna tell you right now. Like I said, they arms and they legs are small. That don't mean they dicks are small. Like you gotta step outside the box. It could be a 4'10" nigga right now with a 9-inch dick. You'll never know because you be acting funny talking about my man need to be 6'5". You ain't got a man anyway. So step out the box.
Okay.
And as always, take care of yourself and others.
Oh Lord. Okay. All right. Thank you for that, Jerry's final thought.
You
Yeah.
welcome.
All right. So that was episode 93 of the Ish We Talk. And we will see you guys on episode 94. Bye.
Exactly.